Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Monday. It's the 16th of September, I think. We're already in September and I've missed half of it. Without any further ado, my name's Adam. I'm going to be spinning the wheel for you for the next 30 minutes. Let's get the timer up and running and let's go for our first spin together from the day's date, number 16. There we go. Still know how to spin. It has been a while, hasn't it? Gonna ease myself back in this week, do a few sessions here and there, ready for next week. Next week is when the sessions will begin in earnest. So, where is our first result gonna be? Red, black, odd, even, high or low? I can tell you it's number 3. 3, red, odd and low. Third column in the first dozen, and it's part of the voisin section of the wheel, red number 3. Let's move on from number 3. So, trying to remember everything about this lovely game, I do remember that Alan's favourite number is 19, and also 22 is a very special number for him as well. Now, if you've never ever seen us here at the Real Wheel, I say us, I mean me, and of course, I don't mean that arrogantly either, I mean it's just a one-person operation. And, of course, we have Alan here as well. Alan is part of the furniture, I want to say, as we go into red number 9. Red, odd and low for number 9 in the third column in the first dozen. And part of the Awful Anne section of the wheel. That's Anne, she's awful early today. Let's move on from number 9. So Alan is a very long time viewer now, and he is an absolute legend. Everybody who knows me knows about Alan now. I keep saying, oh, I've got a really lovely person who keeps watching the roulette. It's brilliant, because he's so nice. As we go into black number 20, our first black number and our first high number, middle column in the middle dozen, black, even, and high. And part of the Awful Anne section of the wheel, it's also, of course, our first even number. So we've got 3 numbers, 2 Awful Annes. They are relatively close to each other on the wheel, 20 and 9. 20 in the neighbours doesn't quite include 9, but 14's neighbours, as well as 31's neighbours, include both 20 and 9. So, as you can maybe tell, by the way, the graphics have changed ever so slightly. As we go into 11, centre column in the first dozen. It's black, it's odd, and it's low. And it's part of the TS section of the wheel, black 11. Moving on from 11 to the next number. We're going to get through around about 50 spins in this half an hour, maybe a few more, maybe a few fewer. We shall have to see, only time will tell. Of course, the wheel doesn't know where the ball's going to fall. I don't know where the ball's going to fall. The only way we find out is when it actually falls. And there's about a 4-second delay, so it's virtually real time. As we go into our first reoccurring number, red number 3, red odd low, first column. No, it's not, first dozen. Third column. And part of the voisin section of the wheel. I can turn the music up. All I need to do is push this up just a little bit. I think my mic is also a little bit high in the mix. So let's turn the mic down, turn the music back down to match, and then we should have a pretty good mix. As we go into number 4, first column, first dozen, a black even low number in the voisin section of the wheel, black number 4. And we're spinning from number 4. So, I'm not sure if you remember, but back in July, I had a really awful day on air where I had to just come off mid-session. Now, that has sort of been the build-up to everything that's gone on. My other half got ill in the middle, but I've sort of been quite unwell in the interim. So, everything's fine now. I've been guaranteed that. But I'm having to go to the doctor 6 times in the next 2 weeks. A red number 30, 3-0, third column, third dozen, a red even and a high number in the TS section of the wheel, red number 30. So I'm getting, I want to say 5 more injections coming up in the next 2 weeks. But that should see me fit for at least 3 months, they say. Goodness me. As we go into Alan's favourite number, 19. Let's get 19 up in lights. 19 is confirmed. I can tell you it's red, odd and high in the middle dozen in the first column and part of the voisin section of the wheel. Let's move on from red number 19. As you can see, the marquee on the left-hand side of the screen now is starting to populate. So we started with red number 3. That's on the right-hand side, and you can see 7 other spins have joined it. 3 is twice on the marquee. That's the hot number so far, but it all could change. That's the beauty of the game of roulette. We never know where the ball is going to fall, and this time we're in the highest number possible, 36. Huge and rouge. Third column, third dozen for 36, a red even high number in the TS section of the wheel. So the wheels are actually a little bit bigger on your screen now. I say the wheels, the 2 views of the same wheel. So I tried to make it as big as possible without it sort of intruding. This is still a relatively temporary setup, because what I want to do eventually is have the whole of me on screen to spin. That'll be fun, won't it? As we go into number 4, we've seen that number twice now. 4 in the first column, in the first dozen. Black, even and low, and part of the voisin section of the wheel, black number 4. So let's have a cheeky little look at my stats so far. I can tell you that the third column and the first dozen are the hottest columns and dozens, and the French sections are pretty much bang on track. As bang on track as you can get after 10 spins anyway. And we're in number 12. 12, one of my friend Niall's birthday, I'll have you know. So 12 is a red even and low in the third column in the first dozen. And I just completely snatched, that's the word. I completely snatched at the ball then. Let's do a proper spin from 12. Oh, I've got butterfingers today. Actually, what it is I wash my hands thoroughly before spinning the wheel because, you know, cross-contamination and all that. And sometimes a little bit of soap makes my hands slippy. As we go into the number of love, 14, middle column in the middle dozen. It's red, it's even, it's low. It's part of the Awful Land section of the wheel, red 14. Moving on. 12 spins so far today. We're going to get through around about 50 in this half an hour. At the moment, 3 and 4 are your hottest numbers. I know a no spin. They do happen, especially when I've got slippery hands. Just means I should have rinsed them a little bit more thoroughly. Hot number, number 4. First column, in the first dozen. Black even and low. And part of the voisin section of the wheel. Moving on from black number 4. 22.5 minutes left with me today. Then I may be back tomorrow. I won't be back Wednesday. Wednesday is the day where I do stuff with my other half. Thursday should be back. Friday, probably back as well. I've got injection on Friday. I've got one on Wednesday, but I'm not on air. And then hopefully, as normal, from Monday next week, as we go into 11. 11 black, odd and low. Centre column first dozen, part of the TS section of the wheel for 11 black. So you can see now we have had 14 spins. 14 spins and 5 more slots left on the marquee. The reason we have 19, I know it seems a bit of an arbitrary number, but that is the average number of spins we go through in 10 minutes. So every 10 minutes you'll have a completely fresh marquee here at the Real Wheel. We're live. It is currently 5 to 5 on the 16th of September 2019, and a happy birthday to my Uncle Peter as we go into red number 3. 3, red odd low, third column, first dozen, voisin section of the wheel, hot number along with 4, both been out 3 times. You can see 3 times on the marquee, and 4 times on the marquee. 4 has been in more rapid succession, so I would say 4's hotter than 3, but that is up to you. 3 has had staying power, 4 has had concentration, as it were. And I can tell you we're in 14, another number we've seen a couple of times. 14 in the middle column, in the middle dozen. It is a red, even, and a low number in the Awful Land section of the wheel. So we're back in the Awful Land. The wonky bow tie section, the smallest section of the wheel. Only 17, 34 and 6 on one side, and 1, 20, 14, 31 and 9 on the other side, to make a total of 8 numbers. 5 chips or multiples thereof if you're playing the Awful Land Cheval, and that's 1 straight up and 1, 6, 9 split, 14, 17 split, 17, 20 split, and 31, 34 split. Taking to 34, 34 is in. 34 in the Awful Land section of the wheel. Third dozen, first column, a red even high number. So with that 5 chip outlay for the Awful Land, you would of course get... I know I'm telling you, or teaching you to suck eggs, Alan, but you never know, there may be a couple of newbies watching. Oh, I'm glad I have good taste then, because I picked this one thinking it sounds good. So, with the Orphalan, 5 chip outlay. If any number barring 17 or 1 come in, you get a 13 chip profit. If 1 or 17 come in, you get a 31 chip profit as we go into 26. 26, middle of the voisin section. In the middle column in the third dozen, it's black, it's even, it's a high number. It's black 26. Yeah, I just picked this one because I thought it sounded really good and fit with the sort of new look we've got. I've flattened everything out. It's almost as if I've ironed the graphics. But I do like having the wheel on the left-hand side of the screen. I think it draws focus a lot better than when it was lumped in the right-hand side. Red number 30, 3-0. We've seen that already today, and it's out for the second time. 30, third column, third dozen. Red even high, part of the tier section of the wheel. Every number, third column, third dozen, of course, is in the tier, and now we have a fully populated marquee. Took us just over 10 minutes this time, but will it take us 10 minutes next time? Look for when that 30 drops off the edge. It should be around about the 10-minute mark. And our next result is 18 red. The age, of course, you've got to be to play roulette in the United Kingdom. 18 red, even and a low number in the third column in the middle dozen, part of the voisin section of the wheel. But we've got to move on very quickly from 18. I can tell you at the 20 spin juncture, half of the spins have been in the voisin. We've had 10 voisin, 5 Orphalan and 5 tiers. We've had 10 numbers in the first column. We have had 9 numbers, 10 numbers in the first dozen, I beg your pardon, and 9 numbers in the third column. Red doing better than black, even doing better than odd, low doing better than high. And this is a black odd high number breaking that trend with 29. Middle column third dozen for 29 in the voisin section of the wheel. It's a black odd and high number. Moving on from 29 to our next results. I will actually try on air to move this camera round a little bit. For I have noticed that my spins are off screen. So there we go. Let's try that now. Still a few classic songs in the mix as well. Old and new as we go into number 5. 5 red odd low in the first dozen, yes, in the middle column and part of the tier section of the wheel, red number 5. Moving on from 5 to our next number. What's it going to be this time? Choice of 37 numbers, of course. Big green 0 all the way up to 36. Lowest number we've seen so far today is number 3. That's been out 3 times. Highest number 36, been out just the once. And our next number is 28. 28 in the voisin section of the wheel. It's in the first column in the third dozen. And it's a black even high number, black 28. My spins are still off screen, aren't they? This camera is the one thing I didn't prep. Because I thought, oh, it'll be fine. It wasn't, was it? There we go. Let's try this camera angle. Red number 1, first column, first dozen, red odd low, part of the Orphalan section of the wheel. I miss Jackpot as well. I miss the interaction that we had with Jackpot. Same with Super Casino when that was on 5. I just think they were so fun. Because it wasn't just about roulette. Of course their objective was to get as many people playing and maybe as many people as winning as possible, but definitely as many people as possible playing. But the interaction is so much better than just a static wheel as we go into 15. 15, a black, odd and low number. Middle dozen, third column, part of the voisin section of the wheel, black 15. And we're moving on to our next number. What's it going to be this time? You can see the wheel going nice and slowly on your screen. Big full picture of the wheel on the left hand side, and then you can see where I spin on the right hand side. That's just to show you this is a real live wheel. Nothing pre-recorded about this wheel whatsoever. 32. That number still haunts me, you know. 32 in the middle column in the third dozen. It's red, it's even, it's high, and it's part of the voisin section of the wheel. Moving on from red 32 to our next result. Yes, YouTube, I know I'm live. I just got an email from YouTube telling me I'm live. I didn't need reminding. Hot number 4, fourth time out. First column, first dozen. Black, even and low. Part of the... You guessed it, it's part of the Voisin section of the wheel. Let's move on from black number 4. I don't think I have it at the moment, because that was quite an old track. However, what I'll do is, overnight, I'll try and fit that in, because it is quite a good track. Huge and Rouge, the number 36. 36, red even high, third column, third dozen, in the TS section of the wheel for red 36. And we're moving swiftly on to our next number. What's it going to be this time? We've got quite a healthy mix of red and black on the marquee at the moment. Got quite a healthy mix of high and low as well, so everything's starting to even out. Red, even and low still doing better than black, odd and high, but this can change throughout the course of the session as we go into 21. 21, it's Roulette, odd and high in the third column in the middle dozen, and part of the Voisin section of the wheel, 21 Roulette. And 21, of course, being the age you've got to be to gamble in Vegas. I remember Friday Feeling. That was in a playlist for a very long time. But I think I took it out to rest it for a little bit, so I'll have a little nosy for that one as well. Number 30, Huge and Rouge. Third time out for 30, all the threes for 30 as well. Third column, third dozen. Third of the wheel in the tier. It's also red, even, and high, red number 30. Just over 13 minutes left with me today here at the Real Wheel. I hope you've had fun. I'm not trying to wrap up early. I'm not trying to sort of skive off for the last 13 minutes, but I hope you are having fun here today. It is a lovely day outside. I didn't bother to do any kind of housework because I'm lazy, but I should have done. 29, middle column, third dozen. It's black, it's odd, it's a high number, and it's part of the Voisin section of the wheel. Moving on from 29. Where are we going to go this time? 29, first time out. Second time out, I beg your pardon, for 29. It was out, when was it out before? Quite early on, I think. Spin number 21 and 31, so a 10 spin gap in between them. You can see there twice on your marquee. 21, we saw that a couple of spins ago, and it's out again. 21, Roulette odd and high in the third column in the middle dozen, and part of the Voisin section of the wheel, red 21. So 21 is on its second appearance of the session, and the second appearance of the day. So red numbers sort of breaking away a little bit now. Even and odd closing the gap, high and low closing the gap as well. Third column still your hottest column, first dozen still your hottest dozen. Red 34 in the third dozen in the first column. It's in the Orphaland section of the wheel. It's a red, even and high number, and it's on its second appearance. So quite a few numbers now out twice or more. I can tell you the hot number is number 4, 4 times out for that. Then we've got number 3 on 3 times out. And then we have 11, 14, 21, I beg your pardon, 3 and 30 both on 3 times. Then 11, 14, 21, 34 and 36 all on 2 spins. Red 36 now on its third spin, third column, third dozen, red even and high. It's the Huge and Rouge, and it's part of the TS section of the wheel, red 36. Let's move on from 36. Where do we think it's going to go this time? Red, black, odd, even, high or low? Could even be the green 0. Now the object of this game is to predict where the ball will fall. Here at the Real Wheel, we do not have any money placed on this wheel. It's just for fun, it's just for you to have a look at how the roulette wheel works. So maybe you like playing roulette and you don't want to spend any money. Spend time with us here. All we ask is for a little bit of time as we go into 31 in the Orphaland section of the wheel, making its debut. First column, third dozen. It is a black, odd, and a high number, black 31. Moving on from 31 to our next result. Black 22 is nowhere to be seen at the moment. Came close to it with 18. I don't think we've had a number 9. We've had one number 9 and we've had one number 18. So been one either side twice so far. And of course, 31 a couple of pockets away. What about on the other side? We have 29, which has been out twice. So we've had all the knaves of 22, but not 22 itself. Other side of the edge of the voisin, if that makes sense, is 25. 25, a red, odd, and a high number. Third dozen, first column, part of the voisin section of the wheel. So 25 is one extreme of the voisin, 22 is the other. It's 22 to 25 clockwise. And it is 17 numbers in total. 26 is actually in the middle of it, but 0 for some reason steals its thunder. Number 3, joint's hottest number. It's between 4 and 3, and it has been all day. 3 is, of course, red, odd, and low. Third column, first dozen, part of the voisin section of the wheel. So 2 voisin back to back. Last time we were in the Orpheland was with 31. Last time we were in the Tiers was with 36. That is how your French sections are looking at the moment. And do you remember, about 10 minutes ago, I said in 10 minutes time, 30 will drop off the edge of the marquee. I'm not a liar. If you watch after this spin, that 30 will drop right off. And it's going to be replaced with number 28. Second time out for 28. In the first column, in the third dozen, it's a black, even, and high number. In the voisin section of the wheel, black 28. Still waiting for 22. I'm really hoping 22 comes out. I'd like a 27 as well. Any other number I'm not too fussed about, to be honest. But 22 and 27 are the numbers I'm willing out. I'd like a 23 as well, just because I like 23. But all the other numbers, they can come and go as they please. I've got my 27. It is a red odd high, third column, third dozen, Tiers section of the wheel, red 27. Let's see if we can get a 22. Now, quite often, and this is just speculation, and I can't control where the ball will fall, but quite often 22 and 27 seem to follow each other on this wheel. It's often 22 coming before 27, but I've seen it the other way around as well. Does that mean anything? You tell me. I don't know where the ball's going to fall. It's just a hunch. It's something that I've spotted, and it can sometimes happen, but oftentimes it doesn't happen. In this instance, we are in 15. 15, a black, odd, and low number. Third column in the middle dozen, part of the voisin section of the wheel. Black 15. Moving on from 15 to our next number. What's it going to be this time? So no 22 after the 27 this time, but we are now 40 spins in. I can tell you predominantly red, 62.5%, 37.5% in black. 52.5% in even, 47.5% in odd, 52.5% in high, 47.5% in low. 25, second time out for 25 of the day. I can tell you it's still red, odd, and high. First column, third dozen, and parts of. It's part of the voisin section. Let's spin from 25. So moving on from 25, you can see 25 twice there in your last 6 spins. So 25 warmed up a little bit, it hadn't been out at all, and now it's been out twice. I can tell you that the third column is on just shy of 44%. The third dozen is also just shy of 44%. So the third column has overtaken. No, it was the third column was always hot. The third dozen has overtaken the first column. That made no sense. The third dozen has overtaken the first dozen. 28 is your next result. 28, black, even, and high. First column in the third dozen. Part of the voisin section. Columns and dozens. It's so easy to say one when you mean the other. I mean, they both pay 2 to 1. They both cover 12 numbers. They both either have first, second, or third. And of course, they both sound very similar and make very similar shapes in the mouth. Let's see what the next number is. Bit of a fast wheel. Well, I can tell you, we're in Sweet 16. 16, red, even, low. First column, middle dozen. Part of the... It's part of the Tiers section of the wheel. Moving on from 16. So that is another number to cross off the list. We are still waiting for 0, 2, 6, 7, and 8. 10, 13, and 17. 22, 23, 24. 33 and 35, so quite an eclectic mix of numbers we are waiting for so far, but that could all change. Red number 9, not a new number, and right next door to 22. Although it's next door to 22, 9 is in the Orpheland section of the wheel. It's also in the first dozen, third column, and it's a red, odd, and low number. Black 29 in the middle column in the third dozen. It's a black, odd and high number in the Voisin section of the wheel. It's black 29. And apologies for music muted for a second there. Trying to mute my mic so I could take a quick drink. And I muted the wrong thing. It is Jackpot 24/7 Monday. Completely coincidental. I was going to have Jackpot 24/7 music regardless of what day I came back. And I can't believe I've only got 4 minutes left. I know I say it's a lot, but this has absolutely flown by. Red 34. Not quite hot number, but very, very warm number in the third dozen in the first column. It's red, it's odd, it's not odd, it's even, red, even and high. Third dozen, first column, Orphaland section of the wheel, it's red 34. Red 34 twice there on the marquee. You can see the last 19 numbers in the number history on the left hand side of your screen, just under where it says latest results, just in case you're under any illusion that that was just a random set of numbers. 18 red right next door to 22 in the Voisin section of the wheel, third column, middle dozen, a red, even and low number. 18 red, let's move on. So 18 red is now on its second appearance of the day, so joining quite a few numbers on two spins in fact. I can tell you, we have had 9, 11, 14, 15, 18, 21, 25 as well, all on two spins. And then 28, 29, 30, 34 and 35 on three spins. 5, Pimp, as it's known in Welsh. 5, a red odd low, middle column first dozen, TS section of the wheel, moving on from 5. Where are we going to go this time? Just under 3 minutes left. Going to get through about 54 spins, maybe a few fewer, maybe 53 spins, we shall see. I can tell you though, we are now in 29, warming up. Middle column third dozen, black, odd and high. Part of the Voisin section of the wheel, black 29. So 29, hot number. Along with 3 and 4, but 29 is definitely hotter in recent times. You can see a couple of 29s on the left hand side of your marquee, and we are bookending the marquee with 29 at the moment. So 29 topping and tailing. No repeater and no zero this half hour. So far, anyway. A red number... No, it's not red number 12. It's black, number 28. I saw the ball fall, thought it was going to be 12, started saying 12, but it just wiped its feet in there. 28, of course, black, even and high. Third dozen, first column of the Voisin section of the wheel. 28 and 12 next to each other on the wheel. I am not sure if we're going to have time because that was really close to the end of the mix. So sort of, I think it was at the 42-minute mark in the mix. A black number 10, black even and low, first column, first dozen, part of the TS section of the wheel. Because my idea with that is, after about 40 minutes, I have about 5 minutes of music on air before I go live. And that's just because I'm doing pre-stream checks. I'm going to the loo quite often, washing my hands, but I like to have the stream up and ready for me to just come on air. And about the 30-odd minute mark, I need to have a couple of really good tracks in order to keep the energy going as we go into the Enigma number 23, right next door to 10. In the TS section of the wheel, I can tell you it's middle column, middle dozen, it's red, it's odd, and it is a high number. What I'll do is I'll shuffle some tracks around for the next time we have jackpot music. Still looking for some permanent royalty-free music. I'm not quite set on what we've got at the moment. And we are in your favourite number, Alan, 19, red, odd and high, in the middle dozen, first column, part of the Voisin section. I'm going to spin over time a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say this is the third from last spin. So we're going to have the penultimate spin next, and then we'll have the final spin. And we are in black 35, middle column, third dozen, black, odd and high. Part of the Voisin section. So penultimate spin happening right now. One more spin after this. We are in 32, 32, red, even and high. Third column, no it's not, third dozen, middle column, and parts of the Voisin section. So for one last time today, this is your it's not your penultimate, this is your final spin coming up. Hopefully it's a nice number, hopefully it's black 22, spinning from 32. So it's been a pleasure as always to spin for you. It's been good getting back into the swing of things. I will be back at some point tomorrow. I'm not quite sure on the timings yet. That's still up in the air. It all depends on when I get a burst of energy. But the good news is I am pumped full of minerals now. I'm feeling an awful lot better for it. We are finishing with black number 10. 10 black, even and low. First column, first dozen, and part of the tiers section. Well, that's it. Half an hour, just like that. I hope you've all had fun. Thank you especially to Alan for watching. I shall be back tomorrow for some more spins, and we shall be carrying on from black number 10. Until then, take care, have a lovely evening, and I'll see you all tomorrow afternoon, morning, something like that, lunchtime maybe, who knows.